From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Friday, February the 5th, 2021. A Palestinian man infiltrated a Jewish outpost in the West Bank in the middle of the night last night and tried to break into a home. Residents said they heard him yelling Allahu Akbar, God is great, in Arabic, as he tried to get into the house, which was locked. The Palestinian, who was unarmed, then apparently tackled one of the residents before being shot and killed. The IDF tweeted that a terrorist attempted to infiltrate the home of an employee of Sde Ephraim farm. Another employee, they wrote, who was present at the scene fired and neutralized the suspect. An investigation is ongoing. A total of 39 parties registered their candidates list for Israel's next round of elections. Some surprise last-minute agreements included the Jewish Home Party, which signed an agreement with Naftali Bennett's Yamina Party, with party leader Hagit Moshe promised a ministerial post if Yamina is a member of the next coalition. Israel's national elections are March the 23rd. Meanwhile, Israel's cabinet voted to extend the national lockdown, an effort to curb the number of coronavirus cases in the country, until this weekend. And Ben Gurion Airport will remain shut down except for special cases for another 2 weeks. The U.S. Senate voted today by a vast majority of 97-3 to keep the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem. The vote was part of an amendment to the massive budget bill the Senate passed with President Joe Biden's relief package. Biden has already said that he would not move the embassy from Jerusalem. The amendment was co-sponsored by 21 Republicans, led by Oklahoman Senator James Inhofe, who said earlier today, Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, and I am proud to introduce legislation to protect the U.S. Embassy from relocation or being downgraded. The three senators who voted against the measure were Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and Tom Carper. The City Council of Paris became the first capital city in the world outside of Israel today to endorse the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance's definition of anti-Semitism. Israel's embassy in France thanked Mayor of the 16th arrondissement, Francis Speiner, who has Jewish background, for initiating the move. Thanks to you, the embassy tweeted, Paris is the first capital to recognize the operational definition of anti-Semitism, hailing his political courage as undoubtedly part of Claude Guazgan's action, citing the late French politician who served as a member of the National Assembly for Paris and was a staunch supporter of Israel. The IHRA definition includes singling out Israel beyond standard criticism. And the American Jewish Committee tweeted today that following AJC Bulgaria's relentless advocacy efforts, 9 of the leading Bulgarian universities have announced that they are adopting the definition as well. The leaders of the Conference of Presidents of major American Jewish organizations responded yesterday to accusations against Israel of withholding coronavirus vaccines from the Palestinian Authority. Arthur Stark, William Daroff, and Malcolm Hoenlein denounced the baseless accusations, which they said have regrettably been given credence by media reports and even by a few members of Congress. The conference noted that under the Oslo Accord signed in 1993, the PA and not Israel was responsible for the health care of Palestinians. Israel has been providing and facilitating, they wrote, the delivery of personal protective equipment throughout the pandemic to the PA. And as we reported to you this week, Israel transferred 2,000 doses of the vaccine to the Palestinian Authority out of 5,000 expected to be sent in the coming days, with 20,000, the conference said, in the ensuing weeks. saying that the PA's refusal to cooperate with Israel in purchasing vaccines, as well as to accept medical equipment sent from the UAE through Israel, shows that responsibility for the slow rate of vaccinations lies squarely with Palestinian leadership. We hope, the conference leaders wrote, that the Palestinian people and the world will hold the Palestinian Authority accountable for a response to the pandemic that has prioritized hating the Jewish state over saving Palestinian lives. Well, we end with exciting and promising news from Israel in regards to the coronavirus pandemic, a new medication that has shown very positive signs in treating the virus. In its phase 1 trial, XOCD24 was given to 30 patients at Tel Aviv's IHRA hospital who were suffering from moderate to severe COVID-19. All 30 recovered, 29 of them within 3 to 5 days. The hospital called it a huge breakthrough. The medication was developed by Professor Nadir Arber, and the study will continue now with further trials. But IHRA Director Ronnie Gamzu, who recently led the coronavirus program for Israel's government, said the research is advanced and sophisticated and may save coronavirus patients. The results of the phase 1 trial, he said, are excellent and give us all confidence in the method that Arber has been researching in his lab for many years. Gamzu added, "I am proud that at IHRA we are possibly bringing a blue and white remedy to a terrible global pandemic." Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Friday, February the 5th. At 6 o'clock, live Shabbat services from New York City's Central Synagogue, followed by Shabbat services from the Hampton Synagogue. At 8:30, Chaim Seiman, president of Jewish Law at Villanova, discusses his book, Halacha, The Rabbinic Idea of Law, with Professor Lawrence Kaplan of McGill, at an event of the Jewish Review of Books, NYU Law School, and the Jewish Law Association. At 9, it's the film Israel Inside. At 10, episode 5 of From Date to Mate. And at 10:30, a replay of the Hampton Synagogue services, followed by a replay of the services from Central Synagogue. And coming up next, a look at this week's Torah portion. And that's the JBS News Update for Friday, February the 5th, 2021. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy, stay well, and Shabbat Shalom.